Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you're watching or listening in from. Welcome to another edition of Crypto Happy Hour, a little October 16th edition here. Hope you guys and girls are having a great day so far. Fairly interesting day in the market. A little bit of just general market news to cover, but definitely want to take all of your questions and try to dive into all that as much as possible. It's been a little bit of time since we've had an opportunity to do some to do a crypto happy hour, so just excited to get in here and talk about all that with you guys. As soon as you start seeing this, give me a second just to make sure that this is all good to go. Sweet. What's up, Alpha? What is up, Amande? What's up, Coin Collector? Iceberg, shout out to all you guys who've been in here for quite a little bit of time before we even got things kicked off. Yeah, so a couple different, I think, pieces of news today. Number one, the probably larger pump that happened in the top 100, ZRX, the token for the ZRX protocol, that was added to Coinbase Pro, or formerly GDAX, a few days ago. That officially got added to Coinbase, like Coinbase proper, the Coinbase retail app. There is now Coinbase Pro, which is formerly GDAX, now Coinbase. After it got added to Coinbase within the past like 2 hours or so, it pumped about 15% or so. Tezos was added to Kraken. Tezos was up, I think, over 15% at one point in time. Is now up about 11%. And then Ethos, I don't really know all that much about why Ethos is up, but it's also down 96% from all-time highs. So depending upon where you bought that, doesn't really make all that much of a damn difference. One thing we can certainly talk about today, because this is the funniest thing, and this is shout out XRP Bobby is back in the house. I know you guys loved XRP Bobby. I'm switching my hat and I'm back over to XRP Bobby. So this was an article, and this was a legitimately real headline. This was probably the funniest thing I've seen all day. Headline, China's Bitcoin dominance is worrying Trump's White House and pushing it towards Ripple. That is the most outrageous headline I've ever seen. I know a lot of you probably have XRP bags. I don't. You know, if you like XRP, more power to you. It is what it is. I have my own issues with it, but trying to take the narrative that Donald Trump's White House is worried about China's Bitcoin dominance because of mining, but they are instead going to look at Ripple Labs because the Ripple Labs executive, who was a former TV personality on CNBC, is now suggesting that the U.S. administration is interested in Ripple adoption to offset China's Bitcoin strength. If you could find me the nearest window to swan dive out of it, I will. So it is the most ridiculous headline on the planet. Like, XRP might get adopted, Ripple might be a great company, but if you think Ripple and XRP is going to get adopted because Donald Trump is scared that Bitcoin is being mined in China and that China is going to dominate Bitcoin, and that XRP is now going to, you know, overtake the US dollar, I have Jets season tickets to sell you. I'll say that. I have New York Jets season tickets that I could sell you. What's up, RC Factum? BitHum Dex has been launched. So I haven't gotten a chance to see the BitHum Dex. One thing I think that's fairly interesting about this like whole decentralized exchange movement is a lot of these centralized exchanges that are now coming out with decentralized exchanges. And I do think one thing that is somewhat important to maybe make a distinction is that there are certainly points of centralization for a lot of these decentralized exchanges, and I do think that like a better term, I do think that a better term just in general, just fix this thing. I do think that a better term in general is really non-custodial exchange, because a lot of these exchanges are still centralized, The only thing that maybe isn't necessary, the decentralized aspect of it, is the fact that they're not holding your funds, but there are still more centralized aspects, perhaps a centralized order book, or some type of centralized execution, or centralized trade execution, centralized matching. But the actual holding of your funds is non-custodial. So I think that's like, just as far as like decentralized exchanges go, you have to take them all and look at a grain of salt. But it is interesting because Binance has come out and said, hey, we're going to do a decentralized exchange. Apparently BitHum is building one. Coinbase acquired Paradex. So this like centralized to decentralized movement, is it going to pan out? Are they going to do better than some of the existing decentralized exchanges? Who knows? A lot of comments on the hair. I'm growing out the flow, man. Let the flow go. Don't be a hater. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And yes, I did just take my Jets helmet off. So thoughts on Binance delisting coins? So I think they've delisted a couple. They've delisted a couple so far. One that they had recently delisted was Economy ICN. That one in particular is basically reissuing their coin, so that was no surprise that they delisted that. Some of the other ones, I think Bytecoin was one of the other ones that they had delisted. If we go down here, if I want to search by, let's see, categories. If I want categories, I think there's a scam category I could find. And Bytecoin is, I believe, yeah, Bytecoin used to be BitConnect, but Bytecoin, I believe, was one of the ones delisted with Economy, and according to Onchain FX, Bytecoin is almost certainly an elaborate scam. Blockchain appears to have been mined in secret prior to 2014. 80% of the total supply was at least likely held, originally held by the coin's creators. So who knows? I mean, but even if that was the case, Binance probably should have known that prior to. So definitely something to talk about. Okay, Simon, yeah, what is the Fidelity news? We can definitely talk on that. I touched base on that a little bit previously here. We can actually, I think the block had an article on it, so I'll pull it up. So shout out to my man Frankie Scoops. So Fidelity, which is, if you're not familiar, $2.5 trillion Wall Street asset manager, huge in the United States. I know not everybody here watches is in the United States. If you have a 401k, if you work at a large company, I had, I think, 3 401ks through Fidelity. So one of the larger, one of the more respected financial institutions, and one of the larger financial institutions in the United States and abroad as well, managing $2.5 trillion. They're launching a new institutional brokerage and custody business for cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin and Ether. So it is not going to be for a bunch of other coins at first. One thing to note, one point of distinction is that this is not for retail traders. I listened to I think it was the product, or like the business manager specifically. They're calling it Fidelity Digital Assets. I listened to him speak. He was on Bloomberg. He was at a Bloomberg event. He was talking with Mike Novogratz and a couple other people. But basically what he said is that, hey, we looked at the landscape and we think that, right now there's enough solutions for retail investors. There are not enough solutions for institutional investors. We are launching an institutional product first. Perhaps some of this might carry over to retail investors, but it's not an initial priority. So for your context, initially speaking, this is not something that you would likely have any, really touch at all. This is geared towards larger financial institutions that want somebody to custody their Bitcoin or Ethereum, and also for brokerage services. So order routing, trade execution, things of that nature is what Fidelity is looking to get into. Now, there are a number of other companies that are already doing this. Coinbase has a custody solution. Kingdom Trust, a couple other companies out there already have custody solutions. The one thing you do have to take into account is that Fidelity's name, if you're, let's say you're just for shits and giggles, you're JP Morgan Chase. You are Jamie Dimon. If Coinbase is a great company. They just raised money at an $8 billion valuation. So they're an $8 billion company. Coinbase tries to get a meeting with JP Morgan, I'm sure they can, but Coinbase tries to get a meeting with JP Morgan, or Fidelity tries to get a meeting with JP Morgan. Fidelity is probably going to get that meeting a lot quicker and get a lot more respect, just because of the backing that they already have, than maybe a company like a Coinbase, or even a much smaller custody solution out there, just because of the level of I think respect that they have in the industry. Chris, have I changed my mind about Zinfin? Inside joke. Nah. You guys on Twitter, man. My Zinfin homies. I remember the crypto happy hours when Bitcoin dropped from 18,000 to 15,000, then again from 14 to 12. Yeah, those days sucked, but I also remember the crypto happy hours when Bitcoin went from like 6 to 8,000 and like 10 to 14,000. So that was fun too. That was always a good time. If you guys are enjoying this, hit that thumbs up button. Helps to get the video out to as many people as possible. I'd love to get as many people in here, as many questions as possible, as always. So definitely hit that thumbs up button if you are enjoying this, or if you also think I'm an idiot and my hair sucks right now. So you can hit the thumbs up button for that too. Love you either way. Love you either way. J-Bags, what's up, brother? Where were you when the whole Tether fiasco was going down? So actually made 2 videos where I talked about Tether, but any specific questions, I'm happy to cover in more detail. I think the Tether stuff is definitely rearing an ugly head. If you do want to follow it, check out the blockcrypto.com. They're now becoming, in addition to CoinDesk, kind of the only CoinDesk and the Block are really 2 of the only crypto specific publications that I'll follow. And they have done, I think the Block has done one of the best jobs out there as far as covering what's happening with this Tether situation. There's a lot of issues about them having Tether and Bitfinex having a proper bank. They lost their bank. It was Noble Bank in Puerto Rico. They lost that bank, or that bank is up for sale. Tether lost its peg. There was a huge lack of confidence in the market, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt around the situation with Tether. There are also a number of new stablecoins that are hitting the market right now, and it is a question of, right now it's a pretty big question of, with all the alternatives, you have the Paxos stablecoin, you have Gemini's GUSD, you'll have the Circle USD, I think it's USDC. There are a number of regulated stablecoins that are fully audited, backed 1-to-1, regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services, yada yada yada. So why would somebody use Tether in comparison to something that might actually have a dollar behind everyone in existence? So this is something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. I have my doubts personally about Tether. I don't want to sit here and bud Tether to death. It is what it is. If and when Tether does blow up, which I think it's probably a material chance it does, it'll obviously crash the crypto market. But the same thing happened with Mt. Gox. The same thing happened with Silk Road, where something like Mt. Gox went belly up, crashed the market, took a while to recover, but bounced back stronger than it was before. Same thing happened with Silk Road. I think if Tether isn't all of the crypto market, it's not. It's silly to assume that, but it would have an effect if it does turn out to be if it does turn out to be quote unquote bad, or not have the money, or whatever it might be. So Andrew K, what happened with Tezos today? Tezos got listed on Kraken. So as a Tezos bag holder myself, I like to see that. Obviously that's kind of been part of my investment thesis with Tezos, has just been the more exchanges that it's trading on, the better. What we got here? Let's see what it's on now. So it's now on Gate, it's on Kraken. It already has a decent amount of volume within a day on Kraken, which is pretty nice. It's on Bitfinex as well. So Bitfinex, Kraken, was on HitBTC at one point, or still is, but volume there is nothing. But I feel like once this gets onto maybe a Binance or something like that, which I think there should be a decent chance, as now Binance is listing based on quality, not listing based on listing fees. So who knows what that actually means. But part of my investment thesis with Tezos is it's a coin that really hasn't seen a bull run in particular, but also there was I think a liquidity like a really liquidity discount just right now because it was so hard to acquire it unless you got in on the ICO. So that's part of my reason for going into it. Jesus, bro. Take it easy, J-Bags. Enjoy work, man. Let's avoid the talk about nuking people in the comments. That would be ideal. So we got here, what's up, Any Ghost? Thank you very much for that super chat. Really do appreciate that. Do you think the fact that proof of work mining typically winds up becoming centralized could lead to POS becoming the more adopted consensus mechanism? So, I mean, I think that's part of the argument right now for a lot of proof of stake. For a lot of people in proof of stake is that, you know, you have Bitmain is really the largest mining producer, and then you also have the electricity costs and a lot of the issues there. I do think that we're going to have to see what happens with Ethereum. You know, there are a number of proof of stake or specifically delegated proof of stake cryptocurrencies or blockchains out there. But when it comes down to it, yes, you could say, you know, mining within proof of work is centralized. There's mining pools. There's select manufacturers like Bitmain. But still, you know, for the most part, when you're talking about proof of stake, mostly right now it's delegated proof of stake for a lot of these crypto assets, for at least the larger size ones. And you still have whatever, it might be 21 block producers or 40 validators or whatever it might be. And I think that's probably arguably more centralized than proof of work for the time being. I am interested in seeing how all of that pans out with proof of work versus proof of stake. But I do think that, like, what happens with Ethereum, I think it's risky what Ethereum is undertaking. I guess it's, you know, somewhat admirable, but I do think it's risky because of the size of Ethereum right now, the number of companies that are running on it, and then move to proof of stake. Sup, Bobby? What's up, Ronaldo? Bullish or bearish in the descending triangle of Bitcoin? Any interesting podcast in the near future? A couple different people I'm talking to, a couple different folks that I'm talking to in regards to a podcast. Have to reschedule some things. I think Miles, who is the CEO of an EOS block producer, and I don't own any EOS, but I think just out of curiosity, I'd be interested in hearing like what a block producer is doing in that space and learning a little bit more, and, you know, why he's bullish on EOS in particular. So a couple different people that, you know, outside of Miles that I'm working on getting on the channel, so that could be fun. As far as just kind of bullish or bearish on that specific pattern, don't really have a super strong opinion here. I think we're, you know, slowly building a little bit of momentum, but I do think we're in the kind of position where, you know, one bad story about Tether or something like that can really, you know, take any TA that you're doing and throw that out the damn window. So Simply Grouch, what's up, man? So do you know how Tether's price is changing? I really don't get it. I mean, it's fairly simple. It's a supply and demand thing, and it does come down to market confidence. So theoretically, you know, when you're talking about Tether, theoretically, it should be backed by $1. So theoretically, you should be able to have a USDT and redeem that at any point in time for $1 from Tether. Now, I'd love to ask that question in the chat. Has anybody ever redeemed Tether for an actual fiat dollar? Love to hear that in the chat if that is the case. Would love to hear kind of your if that's something that you've ever done before. So that'd be cool to hear. But theoretically, you should be able to redeem every $1 1 Tether for $1 US. However, if the market does not believe that, I'm seeing never once. However, if the market does not believe that there is not a full dollar there, it's going to trade at a discount. So right now, there are people that think, there are people that think essentially there is not a dollar for every tether, so it's trading at less than a dollar. Now, if you have got a set of stones and you think, hey, the tether price is going to rebound, there are actually people that, tether within the past, let's see, 7 days or so, is trading at some points as low as 95 cents in some cases, even below that. So if you thought, hey, was at 93 cents. If you thought, hey, this is going to bounce back up, you could have acquired that. You could have acquired tether because you think it's going to regain that pair. But it's really just a confidence thing when it comes down to it. Is people think that, hey, there's, if you don't think that tether is actually backed by a dollar, then why would you pay a dollar for tether? It's that simple. What's up, Professor Wally? How did you like the character at My Kryptons? I appreciate the cartoon. Yeah, I guess Professor Wally here. There's a website or Twitter, My Kryptons. He made a cartoon image of me. I thought my hair looked great. My jawline was a little bit Jay Leno-esque. So I wasn't a huge fan of the jawline, but I thought the hair looked fantastic, as I know you guys are all hating on the hair. So hair looked fantastic, jawline a little Jay Leno-y, but thank you very much for that, dude. I appreciate that. Pacifist in all caps, all aspects of cryptocurrency are fucked back to $1,000 Bitcoin. So I do think that I'm starting to see, and this is one of the things that I do find fairly interesting / funny / also sad, is that there are also, there are a ton of people right now that either come into the chat, come into the comments, even like the people that are the meanest to me on Twitter, which is fine, shoot away, be mean, I don't give a shit. But the people that are usually like very mean, I'll go back and I'll like search and I'll see the first interaction that they ever interacted with me on Twitter, and it's typically like there was one person that was not nice to me, and I go back and I dig back into the tweets. The first time they ever tweeted at me, or second time, they said they were buying Tron on like January 10th, like literally the exact top of the market. So there are people that are down 90% that bought in January when that was when a lot of people bought. So I think that there is this, oh my God, crypto is dead, because there are a lot of people that bought in January now are just absolutely totally wrecked. For myself personally, my cost basis is a lot lower than that. I know that doesn't really make a damn difference. Sucks for everybody that bought in December. January, I really do feel bad. But there is this like weird kind of cycle. The one thing that I will say, when it comes down to it, or when I think about a lot of this stuff, is that there's always this cycle, or at least there has been this cycle of like typically these massive booms and then kind of long drawn out lulls, and the massive booms bring in people, and inevitably people buy the top of that, because that is when everybody's talking about it. That's when CNBC is pumping out these pumping out videos every other day and talking about this and talking about that, and people buy in at the top, and then the market just absolutely craters, crashes, goes sideways, or bleeds out for quite a bit of time, and then slowly makes the move back up. And there are a lot of people that get absolutely wrecked and sell everything and get out. There are also some people that just get wrecked and kind of stick in it and stay interested, and then they're there for the next bull run. Will we get next bull run? I think at some point in time we will. I think the market is right now still, we're sub half $1 trillion asset class. So that is my just kind of general thought process on that. But I don't know, who knows. David, that's very mean, bro. Very mean. Gordy Karen Cunningham, XRP has had more hype than any other coin, yet it's still around 47 cents. 47 cents doesn't mean anything. What matters with XRP is that your boys are at an $18 billion market cap. So 47 cents or $18 billion market cap. It's the $18 billion market cap that matters. Good question, Satoshi Nakafomo. What's up, Crutches? Shout out to my man Kyle, the original gangster. Shout out Kyle. But yeah, have I ever given any thought to how this could potentially not work out in our favor? Yes, there are a lot of things that cannot work out in our favor. It could be something as I would say as simple as like a hugely core critical bug in Bitcoin or in Ethereum or like one of those kind of larger assets. Like if there is something in Bitcoin, some type of oversight by the software developers, some type of incredibly critical bug. I mean, we saw it recently where there was a pretty critical bug that was not found. But it's possible that there's something catastrophic from a technical perspective that happens. I think it's possible that there is like punishing regulation by the United States. And I know not everybody's in the United States. And I know not everybody gives a shit about what the United States does. But when it comes down to it, I do think that there are a lot of other countries follow the lead of the United States. It's not like China, where China bans something and everybody else points and is like, right, you ban Facebook, like you ban Google or whatever. But I think other countries do follow the United States lead. So I think, suffocating regulation by the United States would not be great, would also hurt quite a bit. But to that point too, I would actually say credit to the United States regulators so far for being thoughtful in their approach so far and not suffocating innovation and not suffocating growth, because I thought they've, really just gone after the most blatant scams and kind of taken things with some thoughtful consideration. What's up, Michael? Been in crypto for about a year, listening to you. Really appreciate your dedication, insight. Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate the super chat. Awesome to have you for a year. It's been crazy that we've been doing this thing now for like 15 months or so. So that's been nuts. So, Greg Patane, thoughts on the Raven listing on Binance? That is a fantastic question. I think that's actually pretty big in some respects, because traditionally with Binance, they've had this whole a lot. There's always been a lot of commentary around the listing fees on Binance. Binance is the largest altcoin exchange by volume. I mean, if we pop over here to exchanges, so Binance is the largest exchange by volume in the past 24 hours. It's done about $871 million. Close to $1 billion in volume a day. Binance does almost twice of what every other exchange does outside of BitMEX and the no fee exchanges, but Binance crushes it. And so Binance does, I think, crush it there. But they've done a lot in terms of listing coins that can afford to pay for a listing fee. Raven, or RVN, Raven is a more of a community project. It was a no pre-mine, like a fair mine crypto asset. There is really like no kind of centralized authority there. There's nobody who's going to pay that listing fee, and Binance decided to list Raven without the whatever it was, $300,000-$500,000 listing fee. Sometimes we've heard up to a few $1,000,000, although I've heard that's middlemen in between. So it is a nice sign for the industry, because a lot of the complaints for Binance listing coins was, hey, you're just listing these ICOs that raise $50 million and they're shit coins, but they can afford to pay you to be on Binance. Whereas something like Raven, which might have better tech, but they don't have the possibility to afford to pay for this. So I do think it's a sign in the right direction. And I know Binance does get a good amount of criticism, especially recently, but I do think that, for at least in this specific case, is a step in the right direction. How do proof-of-stake coins solve the problem of one or a few conspiring entities simply buying enough of the tokens to control the blockchain? It's a tough question, and I don't think there's necessarily a right answer. I mean, even you could see there was some FUD recently with EOS in particular, and EOS is delegated proof of stake and not proof of stake, but there were block producers. So there are, with EOS, there's 20 something block producers. There were a number of block producers that turns out were colluding to basically affect the vote for EOS. So not only is it an issue of, is it an issue of somebody out there buying it as, X amount of crypto assets, but also you have an issue of, there could be potential collusion there. Like, I don't think anybody's necessarily nailed on-chain governance. I don't think they've nailed proof of stake yet. I think it's very much experimental at this point in time. What's up, Professor Wall? I appreciate that super chat too. Pays to bot CUSD, USDT on Poloniex and reverse bot USDT, TUSD on Binance. You can also reverse bot USDT and USD on Kraken. Yeah, I mean, it is fairly interesting now, some of the opportunities in terms of arbitrage that are potentially available. Although I think that's, for most people in the chat, I would say probably not worth your time to be spending on arbitraging stable coins, but there certainly are variations. I mean, even here, we'll pull up on the charts. What do we got? Let's see, TUSD. Actually, no, we want TUSD. So yeah, TUSD to USDT. I mean, you could see the pump. It's now almost back. So True USD, which is another fiat-backed stable coin, still trading at a 4% premium to Tether, but at one point in time, I mean, this looks like a legit, this looks like a normal crypto chart. This should not be two stable coins. This is literally a stable coin and another stable coin trading against each other. At one point in time, it went up to a 25% premium or 24% premium, which is just insane to think about. But that had to do with the confidence of Tether in general. So the two solid questions here. Do you agree that a listing on Coinbase does not mean a coin will explode? I think you'll get a short-term pop, but I don't necessarily think that it means. I don't think it's the end of the. I think there are a lot more elements to the valuation of a cryptocurrency than simply listing on Coinbase. I think ETC is a good example of that. I think Bitcoin Cash is a good example of that. ZRX right now has performed nicely so far, but I would be hesitant to. I'd be hesitant at this point in time to say, hey, now is a great time to invest in ZRX because it's listed on Coinbase. I think that's almost a sell opportunity if you had a big bag of it personally. And then, what is your opportunity or opinion on arbitraging? Arbitrage is one of the things that I think a lot of people do, and they get into crypto and they might go, let's just say on a random, let's just pull up a random ass cryptocurrency, and just for shits and giggles, let's pull up Tezos, and right now you see. So let's say this, for example, you say, okay, Gate.io, Tezos is $1.46. Kraken, Tezos is $1.51. So all I got to do is go to Gate.io, buy a bunch of Tezos, send it to Kraken, and then sell it for a 5% or for a 5-cent premium, and boom, bingo, bango. I just do that all day, every day, and I'm rich. Typically, there's a reason for the arbitrage there. Sometimes it's Gate.io. There might be some KYC issues. There might be some restrictions. You might not be able to send it from one place to another. Usually there are reasons for the differences in the arbitrage itself, and I think mostly it's kind of a game, I would say, for professionals or for more experienced individuals in that space. I think it looks good on paper, but most people aren't able to execute on it. But it's something that many people, I think, see an exact situation like that, where you see Gate.io, $1.46, Tezos, Kraken, $1.51. You're like, oh, that's perfect. I'm in. And then you go and you try to sign up for Gate.io, and you're like, hey, I can't actually send this. What's going on? So. Dusty Johnson still holding Jin. Yep, I am still holding Jin. I've gotten fairly wrecked on it, but the masternode's still doing all right. Ari, what's up? Talk about the pair of Cole Haans. Yeah, dude, I bought myself a nice pair of Cole Haans. Got myself a Bitcoin, or I got myself a Nordstrom gift card with Bitcoin, so I went and bought some Cole Haans. So, like I said on Twitter, don't say it. I never did anything to stimulate the Bitcoin economy, because Where did I got him? Let's see. Let's see these bad boys. Yeah. Bought these babes with Bitcoin. I also bought myself a nice shirt as well. So thank you, Bitcoin. I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? Got to use it every once in a while, right? Can't just hodl. Yeah, I also did buy the laptop with Ethereum, and I actually did. I run this on a desktop, which is why the quality of this actually doesn't suck. I bought like a gaming desktop, and I bought a laptop too. But I bought my laptop with Ethereum. I bought my desktop with Bitcoin, and yeah, that both times ended up actually selling at pretty decent prices. So sometimes sometimes it's nice to realize some profits in crypto and buy some shit with it. So I enjoy that every once in a while. Makes you feel like you earned something almost, but not really, because I actually didn't earn anything trading shitcoins. Jonah, what's up? You ever hear of Historia Network? Not on the exchange is brand new. Interesting idea about blockchain for consensus-based history. I have not heard of Historia Network. I'll have to take a look. Appreciate the heads up. So Josco mentions arbitraging.co has this as an automated R bot keeping ahead of ETH in this bear market. So I've said this before, and I will definitely say it again. There are a lot of companies out there, or a lot of people out there, that have these R bots or these trading bots for sale. Anybody who has a bot worth a grain of salt would never sell that to the public. If you have a bot, if you have, and when I say a bot, if you have an algorithm, if you have a profitable algorithm, you would not sell that to the public. You would not give away your secret sauce, because an algorithm only works for the amount of time that nobody else has access to that strategy. And somebody else, as the more people that exploit that strategy, the less profitable that algorithm is, the less profitable that bot is. So all these trading bots and these algorithms that are selling for whatever 0.1 BTC a month or whatever crap, like, you don't see Jump Trading or Citadel or any of these high frequency trading firms, these algorithmic trading shops. They don't sell their algorithms on on Twitter for money. They don't do that, and because they're actually profitable. If you had a profitable algorithm, you would not sell it to anybody. So something to always keep in mind anytime anybody tells you to buy a trading bot. So taking a look at some of these questions, and guys, ask away as always. If you're enjoying this, hit that thumbs up button. Would love to hear what you guys are drinking. I'm going on water because why the hell not? Trying to be healthy this week because I had about 45 beers at the Jets game on Sunday. Went to that game in person, so shout out for that. I would disagree, Professor Wiley. There's more, only one person can do so much business by themselves. There are limits. There's more money to be made selling the bot. I would personally disagree with that. If you have a legit trading bot, or if you have a legit algorithm, I mean, you can raise money from outside capital. You can manage capital. You can do a lot of different things rather than selling that bot online for whatever. When keto again? Never. never keto again. So looking at some of these 90-minute Dogfish ad, I dig that. Dogfish is always legit. Miller Lite, strong choice. That's what I had for the Jets game because that's what they had kegs of at the tailgate. So I had plenty of Miller Lite. How's Airswap doing? So Airswap's doing well. We just launched Spaces, which is I'm pretty excited about. I mean, let's see if I can pull it up. I don't know if I have MetaMask. I don't think I have MetaMask live in this browser or not. Actually, I don't have MetaMask, but we just launched Spaces. Where you got here? So I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's like conversational trading. So right now there's only a few. Right now there's about 4 different spaces, but you can log in with a MetaMask, Ledger, or Treasure. It's essentially like Telegram and Skype with built-in conversational like order placing. So you can go in, you can put in a request to buy or sell certain tokens within it, and there's a lot more stuff that's launching out in the near future. Right now, I'll probably be doing it like I'll probably have Don on, who's one of our co-founders, at some point in time. Once we get a few more spaces live, where there's going to be an ability to, it's going to be pretty sweet. You're going to be able to create your own space. So if I wanted to have like the Crypto Bobby space, if everybody in the chat wanted to if everybody in the chat wanted to hop into that space, and if you wanted to trade, also be an opportunity potentially to host your own space and to potentially charge fees for it in the future, as a money-making opportunity for you. But one of the coolest things that I'm excited about is that, for that specific thing, if we're going to be essentially putting in a button. So if, like, let's say you got into an ERC20 token ICO or something like that, you have a bunch of a token and you're talking to your friend, and you want to trade that token with your friend for Ethereum, you can send them a link. And it'll just take you directly to a message between the two of you, and you can trade that token just directly to each other with the swap protocol in the middle of it. No counterparty risk. One person suggests an order, the other person accepts it, the trade will execute. If not, nothing happens. So it should be pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. Absolute. I did buy the Colton Chuckas, so bought him up, kid. Bought him up. I have not participated in any ICOs as of late. Just haven't done that. Andrew K, thoughts on Foam Space project? Yeah, so Foam is, we could pull up Foam Crypto. Let's see, Foam. So Foam is it's a proof of location token. Shout out to Rocco. So shout out to Rocco, Greg Rocco. Good buddy of mine, works at Token Foundry. Token Foundry worked with Foam during the initial stages of their token sale. Had a successful token sale. I think they raised $60 million. I did not participate in it, but there are a lot of people that think Foam's technology is pretty damn legit. I haven't done a full deep dive into it, but I've met the founder, the CEO. I think it's Ryan. He's a nice dude, but I haven't gone into. Yeah, so I met Ryan in person at an event once, but I think it's definitely something that has a lot of respect in the industry as far as the technology goes. I have no idea about the valuation of the token, nor do I know about the utility of the token, but something to check out at some point in time. No problem, Andrew. Kyle, love the questions. How to accumulate illiquid shitcoins? Don't do it. How to lose money on illiquid shitcoins, which is really the only thing I've done recently. Shout out Sen. Yeah, appreciate that, Drew. Done a ton of work to try to make that UI legit. And if you guys check out the Airswap spaces, let me know your thoughts and feedback. And there's also a Telegram group you can go to drop feedback in. Absolute, what's up, dude? Enjoyed the Digital Assets 101 interviews. Any news updates on the securities ICO arena? So security tokens, I talked about that a little bit yesterday in an interview. The audio wasn't too great, but it was an interview yesterday. I was in New York City at the Block's headquarters for like a happy hour, and I was on Long Reads Live, and was talking about security tokens. Security tokens are, the infrastructure is really being built out right now. There are a few security tokens that are coming live. It will definitely be something that you will see more of In fact, there's some cool things that'll be happening with AirSwap, specifically in security tokens, in the next month. So excited for that to come to fruition as well. Been personally in my full-time job, that's really what I've been working on a lot. So security tokens are definitely an area of interest for me, but I do still think it is incredibly early on. I have conversations every single day with people that are interested in launching security tokens, but there are questions about it, there are concerns about it. We have to iron out a lot of different things for it. Am I consolidating my shitcoin stash? I should have consolidated a long time ago. I should have consolidated a long time ago. Been it's such is life. Will I shave my head if XRP hits $589 this year? Yes, I will shave my head. If XRP hits $589 this year, you can book it. You can take that to the bank. I will absolutely do that. Absolutely shave my head if XRP hits 589. I'll shave mine too. Yeah, that a boy, Richie. I mean, where are we at right now? If XRP hits $58.90, I'll shave my head. Hashtag me too. yeah, that's a hell of a thought process. Do I have any XRP? Tickle my ripples. Tickle my ripples. No, I do not have any XRP presently. I do not. I am not a massive fan of XRP personally, but you know what? If you want to do it, you can do it. More lock of the century. Totally. And guys, at this point in time, I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna go eat some sushi. I don't think that's keto, Kyle. I don't know. Is that keto? Yeah. If it's sashimi, yeah, it's keto, maybe. If it's not, no, it's not keto. But I'm gonna eat as much white rice as I possibly can, Kyle. Just to like, by the transitive property, push anybody who's in keto out of keto. Maybe also have a bunch of beers as well. So we'll definitely do that. I appreciate every single one of you's time tonight. All the questions, fantastic questions. Again, shaving my head if Ripple hits $58.90. We'll shave it. We'll do a mohawk. We'll do it live on YouTube this year. So I'm actually not shaving my head because that's never going to happen. But I really do appreciate the time. If you're new to the channel by any chance, hit that subscribe button, the notify bell. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, gets this video out to as many people as possible. Thank you guys. Take it easy. Peace.